Hello and welcome to the Torino 2025 FISU World University Games for the Snowboard Parallel Slalom Finals. The course is looking quick, the athletes looked like they're on form, and we've got some intense battles on our way through. Flurries of snowfall this morning, starting to ease up now. We should be in for a prime conditions in the final. So 370-meter course, 30 meters shorter than it was yesterday, and a lot tighter gates. So the times are a little bit slower, and it is very technique heavy for this parallel slalom. It is time for women's quarterfinals here in Bardonecchia in the parallel slalom finals. It's Carmen Keynes, gold medalist from PGS, continues in her pursuit of a double gold. Keynes building a very nice lead at a very early stage of the race, but Pavliuk carrying a lot of speed through into the steep, just getting a little bit stuck on the heel edge and losing that speed. Was oh so close to being able to take the lead at the halfway stage. She's coming back though. She's not leaving this one. She is trying with all her might to build that speed. Keynes just getting caught on the gate, and it is back to be neck and neck as we go to the finish, and Pavliuk just catching the heel edge. Missing the last two gates. It's going to be a victory for Carmen Keynes. Pavliuk looked so close to getting that one. Look how Pavliuk closes the gap, and then unfortunately misses those last two gates. It'll be a DSQ for Eleonora Pavliuk, a fifth place qualifier. And Carmen Keynes, well, she didn't cross the line first. She did make her way around all of the gates, and she is into the semi-final. Martina Ankele, first place qualifier, takes on Sakura Yogo on the blue course. Ankele, once again, choosing that red course. And settling into the rhythm early on with a lot of speed and the lead at this early stage. But we've seen how quickly that can change on this steep section. This is where the speed brings up. This is where the control is essential. And still maintaining that advantage with Yogo fighting to close the gap, but it's in the hands of Martina Ankele from Austria.
One gate difference for her.
And she's gonna make it look ever so easy when it was not, and she qualifies through to face her teammate Carmen Keynes in the semi-final. And Sakura Yogo finished in 9th yesterday. The PGS lost to Sonia Zapawa. She'll be a little bit higher ranked in today's PSL. So at the top, we're ready for a battle between two Japanese teammates. Noa Kanazawa, bronze medalist in the PGS, against Hinamo Oshima, finished 7th. A good start for Kanazawa in the repeat of the quarterfinals from yesterday. Kanazawa came out victorious against Oshima. And you look at the gap that Kanazawa has already put down against a teammate. Tight, aggressive snowboarding, but Oshima is coming back, building that pace, fighting edge to edge, trying to close the gap, but it's still in the hands of Kanazawa as Oshima goes down and slides out on that heel edge. And it looks like an easy victory at this point for Kanazawa, but Oshima was giving that everything. Just couldn't hold a heel edge turn. Tipping the balance ever so slightly, and Kanazawa into the semi-finals. Disappointment for Hinamo Oshima. So we know 3 of our 4 semi-finalists. We have 1 race left in the quarterfinals to decide who is going through to face Noa Kanazawa in its semi-final number 2. On the red course, Elisa Favre, silver medalist from PGS, against Olga Kasishek. Elisa Favre swings herself into action out the start gate. Matched for pace though by Kasishek on the blue course. Farber just gets her head down, carries that speed, takes that lead early on. And Kasicek just going a little bit wide on that heel edge, trying to pull this one back, trying to reel back Elisa Farber, but it's still Farber leading at the moment. Kasicek doing wonderfully well to stay in touch, starting to carry some speed through these lower parts of the turns. It's getting neck and neck as we close towards the end, and Kasicek goes down on the heel edge, and Farber progresses to the semi-finals.
Semi-final versus Kanazawa.
Kasicek was coming back with that last-minute dive. You just see heavy on the heels, catches the rut, and has to exit the race at the quarterfinals. So we now know who our semi-finalists are. 3 of the 4 were in yesterday's semi-finals. So Elisa Farber will go on to face Noah Kanazawa into the men's quarterfinals. Alexander Krasniak will face Fabian Lanchner in that first race. This is how the small final was in the PGS. Lanchner came out on top and took the bronze. As Krasniak gets his shot at redemption in the PSL. This is going to be a scrap all the way to the bottom. Lanchner coming away nicely on the red course, but Krasniak doing beautifully on the blue, really linking the turns beautifully, flying from edge to edge, has the lead ever so slightly ahead of Lanchner, starting to open up the gap on the blue course. Lanchner just catching some of the gates. It's going to be slowed him down ever so slightly. Krasniak with a very smooth line. Almost a gates advantage towards Krasniak, and he makes up for the loss in the small final, secures himself a place in this semi-final in the PSL. Beautiful racing from the 20-year-old Bulgarian athlete into his second semi-final in as many days. Dachi Shimizu from Japan on the red course faces Matthaus Pink on the blue. And we're underway in quarterfinal number 2. Matthaus Pink, your top place qualifier, against Dachi Shimizu. And Pink already fully into his smooth flow, building the advantage. Shimizu just a little bit loose in those top few gates, where that technique is also important. But look how much confidence Shimizu has on the board, how low he can get on these heel side turns and just really hang it through. Pink still leading ever so slightly. Looks like he's lost a little bit of speed. And Daichi Shimizu trying to close the gap, but there's a gate in it. And Shimizu is out of it as Matthaus Pink goes into the semi-finals.
First semi-final.
Shimizu just a little bit scrappy at the top. Opened, let Matthaus Pink open up the lead. And then in the process of trying to claw it back, just sliding out in those closing stages of the race. And Matthaus Pink will go on to face Alexander Krasniak in the semi-final. So Jason Park on the red course, up against Simon Dorfman on the blue. And Park fired himself out the gate. Dorfman on the blue. Neck and neck at the moment. Dorfman perhaps slightly leading. It is looking very close, and you see the way that Dorfman's just flying from one edge, one turn to the next. Park just letting the board do a little bit too much traveling sideways. Not able to set the edge quite as well, and that's why Dorfman started to pull away with that speed, but Jason Park back onto flying form. Dorfman going a little bit slow. This one might open up for Jason Park. We're going to go all the way to the line of Barneck here, and it's going to be close. And it's Simon Dorfman for Italy. It was almost Jason Park, but 2 gates from the end, just going a little bit too wide. Does beautifully well to bring it back inside the final gate. But the speed that he was able to generate in these final few turns, it was oh so close, and I feel like without that mistake, the decision could have gone the other way. We have the battle between the 2 Ukrainian teammates. Alexander Popodik takes on Nestor Bilous on the blue course. And our last quarterfinal is underway in the men's parallel slalom. And it's a good start for Popodik. but Belouse matching him for pace and artistic looking snowboarding on the blue course. Really getting nice and low over the edges, and Belouse has pulled himself into the lead despite the quick start from Popovic. Can Nesta Belouse hang this one all the way to the finish line? A little bit wide there. Popovic left chasing with a few gates to go, trying to carry that speed and just getting sucked up a little bit too much by those toe side turns, and Belouse is successful with a spot in the semi-finals. Someone who finished 19th yesterday, guaranteed a top 4 finish. What an impressive turnaround from the 19-year-old. Nesta Belouse will face Simon Dorfman in semi-final number 2. So next up, we'll have the women's semi-finals. And just looking at that qualification through, Carmen Keynes will take on teammate Martina Ankele in semi-final number 1. Noah Kanazawa will face off with Elisa Fava in semi-final number 2. Team Austria going head-to-head. Carmen Keynes was victor in the PGS. She takes on Martina Ankele. Keynes on the blue, Ankele on the red. Keynes looking for a spot in her second big final in 2 days, and at the moment leading the first semi-final, but there's not a lot separating the two athletes. Barely half a second between them. Ankele holding on nicely. Keynes having a little bit of a wobble on that blue course. We've seen how treacherous that midsection is when it gets into the steeper parts for this slalom. But Keynes currently in control. Ankele left chasing, and it looks like Keynes is going to secure her spot in the big final. She can carry this all the way to the end, and Keynes goes through in the big final. Ankele into the small final. She's into the top 4 now. Keynes is into the top 2 and guaranteed a second medal at the Torino 2025 FISU Games. Into the second women's semi-final. Noah Kanazawa got the bronze in the PGS yesterday. Elisa Fava got the silver. And we'll go into semi-final number 2. The 2 very fast athletes. And nothing separating them through the top section, through that shallow part of the course. Very much synchronized snowboarding here, but Kanazawa just catches the gate, loses a little bit of speed, and Elisa Fava goes into the lead. But it's only the tiniest of advantages. Kanazawa is coming back strongly, carrying that speed nicely, closing that gap. Might be able to get the overtake done if she can carry it through, but a little bit too wide there, and Elisa Fava is going to take this one and into the big final for a shot at the gold. And Kanazawa has to settle for another small final. Just that mistake very early on in the course just gave Elisa Fava that tiniest advantage. And it's going to be a repeat of yesterday. Carmen Keynes against Elisa Fava. And in the small final, Martina Ankele from Austria against Noah Kanazawa. In the men's semi-final, so Alexander Krasniak, Matthias Pink will be semi-final number 1. Simon Dorfman versus Nesta Belouse on semi-final number 2. Krasniak out the gate rapidly, as is Pink though. Krasniak was in this same position yesterday, but against a different athlete. And Pink has taken the lead early on. Still trying to make up for that first exit yesterday. Wants that spot on the podium. And leading here at the halfway stage of semi-final number 1 in the men's. Krasniak going a little bit low there, losing some speed on that toe edge. And Pink still in control of this one as Krasniak tries to fight back. Still in with the shot, very deep on the heel edge though. Throws himself out the course, he's able to recover, but loses all of his speed, and it's Matthias Pink into the big final. Krasniak once again in that small final. He knew he had a chance there. Just got too deep onto the edge through that final part of the corner. And it's a win for Pink. So Nesta Belouse from Ukraine on the red course takes on Simon Dorfman from Italy on the blue course in our second men's semi-final. Bilas with the faster reactions at the top. Timed that gate drop beautifully well. But Dorfman has settled into it nicely. And then neck and neck, Dorfman edging ever so slightly ahead. Bilas just a little bit untidy in that top section, running a slightly bit too wide on the red gates, and Dorfman leading this one as Bilas heavy on that toe edge, losing that speed. Dorfman executing these turns perfectly, getting the turn in right at the top of the gate, able to attack directly into the next one, but Bilas is coming back oh so quick, but we speak slightly too soon, and Dorfman is into the final, guaranteeing himself a medal on home snow.
Hi, mommy.
And Bilas was oh so close. The commentator's curse striking right at the end. 4 gates from home and just got thrown a little bit too wide. Dorfman just in control there. From 13th in the PGS all the way to at least 2nd place in the PSL. So we've had drama, we've had upsets, we've had thrills and spills, and we've got 4 races left of the Snowboard Parallel Slalom Finals at the Torino 2025 FISU World University Games. It's going to be a fight for these medal positions. Martina Angele versus Noah Kanazawa, up first in the small final for bronze in the women's, closely followed by Elisa Favor and Carmen Keynes. Martina Angele, she'll be on the blue course, Kanazawa on the red course, as we go head-to-head for our first parallel slalom medal at the Torino 2025 FISU Games. And lights out and away we go. Kanazawa gets away well, so does Angele on the blue. Settling into the rhythm as we challenge through this top part of the course. Angele just a fraction ahead, but it is only a fraction, and Kanazawa is hanging on, building that speed on the red course. Angele just getting a little bit stuck on the heel edge, trying to keep it going through the softer part of the course, but she's got the lead at the moment. And the bronze medal currently sits with her as we go into the closing stages of the small final in the women's. Kanazawa with a lot of work to do through these final few gates, but it's going to be Angele that takes bronze in Bardenechia. And Kanazawa has to settle for 4th place. Wasn't quite able to repeat yesterday's bronze medal performance. Angele has looked dominant all the way from that first qualification run. She made that one look exceptionally easy for the World Cup athlete. And Martina Angele is your bronze medalist at the Torino 2025 FISU Games. Coming up next though, this is the battle for the win. Carmen Keynes and Elisa Favor. Keynes out the gate very nicely on the red course. Elisa Favor with the home field advantage, but just trailing ever so slightly a few gates in. Keynes making the board work beautifully for her underneath. Going edge to edge, turn to turn, carrying the pace, but Elisa Favor is coming back on the blue course. Neck and neck, it's going to be a fight all the way to the wire. Keynes just losing out a little bit of speed. Favor into the lead with the home finish inside. Keynes coming back strongly though. The last few gates, and Keynes slides out, gives it to Elisa Favor, who takes gold in Bardenechia. And it was a flip-flop of yesterday's race. Carmen Keynes coming undone with 3 gates to go, and it's a gold for Italy in Italy. And understandably delighted. Carmen Keynes just sliding out on that heel edge. And Favor crossing the line for victory and her 3rd medal of her FISU Games career after taking gold in the PGS in Lake Placid 2 years ago. Alexander Krasniak will face Nesta Bilus for the bronze. Matthias Pink and Simon Dorfman battling out for the gold medal position. And Bilus just going a bit too early, comes out of the gate, and unfortunately it's Krasniak with a huge advantage. Bilus was trying to get that powerful start, mistimed it ever so slightly, and is sat at the back now. And it looks like this should be an easy one for Alexander Krasniak in the bronze medal battle. Krasniak still fighting. He knows there's a long way to go. 370 meters after that first upset. Coming out the start gate, just hanging up as the gate dropped. And Nestebalous with a ton of work to do if he wants to secure the medal, but you can see the advantage that Krasniak has, and it's bronze medal for the Bulgarian in Bardanekia.
Bronze medal for Krasniak.
Finished fourth yesterday, lost out in the small final to Fabian Lanchner. Is much more successful at the second try, and Nestebalous will be kicking himself for that start. Just went a fraction too early, got stuck on the gate and going down. Krasniak might not even been aware of what went wrong, was very much still charging at full speed to cross the line and take that bronze medal. And our final race in Bardanekia will be the men's big final in the snowboard parallel slalom. Clean start from both athletes, powering out the gate. Matthaus Pink from Austria on the blue, Simon Dorfman from Italy on the red. Head to head, neck and neck. The advantage going slightly in the direction of Matthaus Pink. Dorfman taking these corners nice and low, but managing to carry the speed, staying upright, finding that balance of speed, control, and power through all of these turns. But Pink is building up an advantage. There's nearly a gate separating them as we get to that halfway stage into the final parts of this course. Dorfman with a lot of work to do and not a lot of time remaining. It looks like it's going to be Matthaus Pink that takes victory, and it's gold for Pink in Bardanekia. An absolutely sensational final run from Matthaus Pink. After yesterday's disappointment, came back with a bang in the parallel slalom. Pulled out an outrageous lead very early on and just managed to keep it all the way through. And a lovely little Eurocarve at the end from Matthaus Pink. That is the victory he wanted. Back-to-back champion of the World University Games. What a wonderful display of snowboard racing they've put on today. Elisa Fava victorious in the parallel slalom. Carmen Keynes in a second. Martina Ankele takes third place for Austria. So many congratulations to our men's podium. To Matthaus Pink, Simon Dorfman, Alexander Krasniak. Very well-deserved medalists from the snowboard parallel slalom. What a sensational day of snowboard racing we've had.